If there's a God, why doesn't he expose himself? Said Uncle Bob while pantomiming a lecherous flasher opening his trench coat. I empathize with such blasphemous, laissez-faire, and admittedly comical sentiment. Since most pious people are hypocritical and mean, ridicule and resentment is expected. Besides, organized religions have shattered into pieces. Yet anti-religion fails too. I've relished atheist Bill Maher's movie Religulous, Ridiculous Religion. However, his movie ends with bombs exploding, leaving pertinent questions unanswered. Irreligious people are often selfish and antagonistic, causing more problems than they solve. Others say that politics can solve humanity's ills. Some champion technology, some champion psychology, others trumpet interesting philosophies. Yet people of every persuasion are generally closed-minded and antagonistic, or anything goes relativists, and therefore completely ineffective. Since these issues are astronomically important, I've dedicated my life to following another path and to opening hearts and minds. Two general camps produce superfluous rhetoric. Religious self-help books inflate your ego and tell you to seek quote-unquote God, often emotionality and conflicting opinions. Some promote sectarian bias, others merely so-called feel-good books. Secular self-help books also inflate your ego. They tell you to look within yourself, while others are negated or ignored. Most people need admonition, not encouragement, while those on society's lowest rung need encouragement and self-affirmation. We get those two switched around. Since the advent of ego-boosting books, society has worsened instead. So critical works are indispensable. They address problems so they can be fixed. Shockingly, humanity's timeless values, which worked throughout the ages, have been scrapped for modern ideas. Yet we're usually worse off. So don't assume we have the truth. Assume that we have swallowed lies. I'm a unique person most say is highly intelligent, so my perspective may shed light on various issues where others cannot. I'm single, without children, and retired from employment at age 40. These factors gave me a colossal advantage, many years and unlimited opportunities to research and develop my positions. While others boast of success with human relationships, I do the opposite. Being an outsider, I'm qualified to understand what's wrong with society. Hence, my overarching goal is social advocacy. By delving into sad past experiences, I attempt to help others who are presently in those situations. I don't dwell in the past. I'm saying that I've been there, you're not alone, and we will forge ahead. I admonish society, encourage the downtrodden, and elaborate on unpopular positions, as popular positions have already been explained. Even viewpoints which forcefully oppose yours can be more useful than beliefs you dispassionately agree with. I'm a rationalist, history student, and science lover who bolsters his positions with logical reasoning while encouraging dialogue or debate. The crucible of debate forges truth, and truth has nothing to fear. Quoting poet John Milton, let her, truth, and falsehood grapple. Whoever knew truth put to the worse in a free and open encounter. I'm bold and straightforward in my beliefs. As a wise man said, some people must be hit right between the eyes with a 2x4 just to get their attention. Most people retain the convictions they were raised with, regardless of logic or practicality. So our ingrained presuppositions must be broken to facilitate change. Passivity or even assertiveness often fail, while aggression and provocativeness can ignite change. Radical changes in the 1960s through social upheaval are prime examples. Those in authority often gain their position from winning a popularity contest. Two people with identical titles have had exact opposite views while both claiming to be right. And leaders' reputation and livelihood depend on what they're currently promoting, so they don't dare admit they're wrong, while non-professionals aren't trapped into any system. Authorities' time is also squandered on administrative duties and wasteful bureaucracy. And power certainly corrupts. Specialized degrees supposedly indicate wisdom and knowledge. However, advanced education breeds arrogance and inflexibility. People may be educated on what benefits them, not what's good for others. Besides, all religious, political, and philosophical groups have been proverbial wormy apples. Even medicine, science, and technology have been corrupted. Therefore, I relish the nourishing aspects while spitting out the worms. No one group presents an untarnished example of humanity, a brilliant beacon of virtue. If that were so, these arguments would have ceased. Do not trust television, newspapers, schools, or even scientific or religious groups to tell the truth about human nature. Frequently, whoever runs these institutions only has their own interest in mind. They demonize those who expose their lies. People often submit to popular consensus. However, one definition of democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Instead, by exercising herd mentality, we will progress. Consider the following story. A vain emperor places an ad for a tailor to make him the finest suit of clothes anywhere. A swindler answers the ad saying that the best suit of clothes requires a fabric invisible to anyone who is incompetent or hopelessly stupid. Afraid of appearing unfit for his position, the emperor psychs himself out until he actually believes the clothes are real. So the swindler finishes the so-called suit and mimes dressing the emperor. The emperor then parades in his so-called new clothes before his subjects, who are also brainwashed by the pretense. This goes on the entire evening. Suddenly, a geek in the crowd cries out, "But he's completely naked!" shocking everyone to their senses. So everyone else takes up the same cry and demolishes the deception. Delusions reign in society. However, these delusions aren't just an embarrassment, they are extremely harmful. Quoting author George Orwell, "In time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act." Although love always wishes the best for others, love is constantly perverted into supporting others' immediate gratification. By advocating restrictions on behavior, you might be accused of so-called hateful nonsense. Yet love often entails foregoing gratification to obtain greater gratification much later. Sometimes love requires negating gratification for some to obtain gratification for many, or negating gratification for many to obtain greater gratification for another group of many. Love even calls for curbing the gratification of many to support the few, such as our tax money supporting the handicapped. It may even call for permanently restricting natural behavior in view of higher goals. So everything I cover, including philosophy, science, religion, psychology, technology, money, communication, social interactions, sexuality, gender, race, and politics, is based on love whether you recognize it or not. Make no assumptions about my beliefs based on my chapter titles, skimming through my book, or reading only one chapter. I will be misunderstood, and that goes the same for my videos. This is not your typical book or series of videos, in the case of how it is right now. It is a series of non-fiction persuasive arguments crowned by a science fiction satire. Some chapters or videos are, well, the videos are not that lengthy. I've cut them down to less than 10 minutes. But the chapters were lengthy because I must keep the subjects together so my book was not read in piecemeal fashion and readers miss my point. As far as my videos, I make part 1, part 2, part 3, etc. so as to not make it in piecemeal fashion that way. Some topics do not stand alone and rely on other sections to bolster my position or positions. So, are you ready to be wowed by truth? Then read on, in this case, listen on. Take care.